Marty, that's my point. That's my point. Where we're literally living in a day and age to where you even see it on TikTok. To be honest with you, depending on how your algorithm is, but like any platform you go on, they're literally objectifying themselves all day, every day.
And
So to say that you don't
here's
like
the thing. This is
body
the
or you
part
don't
of
want to
it.
be
This is the
objectified,
part of it,
not
Double.
true. You
That's
do.
the part of it that's disingenuous is this, bro. Is you benefit when you love to take advantage and you expect the benefit of this shit. You when the structure is benefiting you, you love to take advantage. You expect, you are mad when the structure fails to meet your expectations for you to be able to sexualize yourself to your benefit. But as soon as it's something that don't benefit you, then y'all want to talk about the fucking patriarchy. And that's why every time I hear that word, I'm like, get the fuck out my face with that shit. I got a young man that, is damn near living with me right now, right? He's my son's best friend. And, he was just telling me a story about how, his sister jumped on him and was hitting him to try to get him out the bathroom because she needed to use the bathroom. And his sister is half his size. He's a 16-year-old boy. So, and he plays football, wrestles, all of this stuff. And she's jumping on him, hitting him like he's like, man, she was legitimately trying to fight me. See, this is the patriarchy right there. The patriarchy is the reason that he didn't put her through a wall, right? Because if it was a man that was 5'4", 125 pounds hitting on him, then he would have threw him out a window. But because it's a woman, y'all know y'all can lay hands on a man, slap, poke, punch, throw shit, kick, scratch, all of that stuff. And a man's not going to do anything. Y'all complain about the patriarchy. But then at the same time, if he would have done anything to her, then she would have exploded on him because her expectation is the patriarchy. Her expectation is, as a man, these are your roles and these are the things you're supposed to do. And I'm expecting for you to do them no matter how I behave. And that's why women think they can go out, dress where you can see the crack of their ass. And they're like, you know what? It's not up to me to keep you from looking at the crack of my ass. You're just supposed to show some self-control and not look. And if you're staring, what, haven't you seen boobs before? This is more of women. I get to do whatever the fuck I want because I'm a woman. And then as a man, you need to show Herculean self-control. And if you fail on any of these metrics, then it's because there's something wrong with you and there's something wrong with society. And it's the patriarchy and all of this bullshit. And that's why you got a lot of men who are just walking off the chessboard. They're sick of dealing with these double talking, disingenuous, double standard, women. A lot of men are tired of the shit. And this is from a guy, ladies, let me tell you something. Y'all set up and talked about Noble. Oh, and he's being hurt. And, and he's like, yeah, this is what I'm one of the pre-selected guys, right? Pre-selected. I'm one of the guys that I get the attention that I want from women. I get the girls that I want consistently. If I put up pictures of the chicks I dated, they all models, right? So and I'm telling you that even being on in the winner's circle, looking at this game, it looks like dog shit. And I'm one of the guys on the boat.
So Marty, last one, Marty. Um, Most modern women do not appreciate and respect their natural beauty. They've gotten to the point they identify as the character they paint on their face rather than who they see fresh out the shower. True or false?
That is that my line?
No, I'm
Yeah,
really,
I think
I'm
that's
just,
my
no,
line, Double. Yeah.
I literally put that together myself. No, like, so
Yeah.
let me say it
Yeah,
again
no,
for everybody.
no, that's a hundred
Most,
percent true. That's 100% true. Women think that they are who they paint on their face. They think they are who they can make themselves look like and not what they actually look like when they wake up in the morning. And then when they don't have the outcomes that are consistent with the level of beauty that they can emulate, then they say patriarchy. It's patriarchy. It's because men only respect beauty. Because even though they're taking advantage of it, they hate it at the same time. They hate the fact. I'm gonna tell you something. One of the biggest letdowns that women receive is when men. It's one of the things that they look for, but it's also one of the things that's the biggest letdown when a man just wants sex from them. I'm gonna tell you when they deal with the guy and they're like, "Oh, this man is smart. He's this, he's that," and they do everything to be attractive to the man, and then the man wants the sex, and the woman's like, "Damn, all he wants is sex." it's one of the biggest letdowns to a woman. They take advantage of it. They might even go with it. They might be horny for the guy, but in the back of their mind, they're like, God damn, all he wants is sex. And the reason why is because they know that this man is buying the image that they portray and not the person inside. And the difference between who it is that they actually are and the person. Women talk about men putting out this representative. Oh, well, all you get to meet is their representative. Do you know how fucking rich that is coming from women who spend an hour and a half painting on a face in a mirror with a wig on? Do you know how rich that sounds to men, that y'all feel like y'all meeting somebody's representative when y'all look like it's a low down dirty shame when you take off all the prosthetics and shit that y'all wear to push this up and push that down and tuck that in, and you drawing cheekbones and shit on your face. You done drew a whole different nose on top of your nose. You done Michael Jackson your nose, and then you sit up and talk about you meeting somebody's representative. Do you know how disconnected from reality you have to be to not see the hypocrisy in that? It's unfucking real. It's unreal. And ladies, that's men keep telling you that they prefer natural women. And here you got women online saying that this is what we marry. But then you got women that say, well, how come you try to talk to the Instagram model? Because we want to have sex. Because we want to have sex, and she don't believe in body count. And if I'm not ready to marry, if I haven't made it to the stage in my life where it's time for me to marry, then the best person for me to deal with are the BBL chicks. The best person for me to deal with is somebody who don't want nothing. And the problem that you ladies have is y'all act like y'all are men. You act like you can do what a man do. You act like you can give somebody access to your body and it doesn't matter. But the truth of the matter is, you know it does. And that's why you say, well, what if I heal? Then does my body count matter if I heal? Why do you have to heal from some shit if it's okay for you to do it? I don't need to do no healing from the fucking I did before I settled down. I didn't have to heal from that shit. The reason you got to heal from it is because you're moving in an agency that's not yours, as in the divine feminine. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. The reason that y'all upset is because you're trying to move like a man and it's not working. Because it's not your space. It's not how you were built. It's not what God intended for you. And then you sit up, you let a whole bunch of dudes run through you, and then the men that you want don't want you. And so instead of looking at yourself and taking responsibility for that, what do we get from y'all? The patriarchy. Holy shit. It's the patriarchy's fault. It's the patriarchy's fault. I argued with men online that body count didn't matter. And they were all telling me that I shouldn't be giving my body to anybody who didn't want to marry me. I shouldn't give a child to anybody who don't want to marry me. Right. And I pretended like they were trying to devalue me and say that that means that my value is only my sex. And so I gave my sex away for nothing. And now I want a man to value me, but I have put the price tag I've put on myself is the cost of a fucking drink. Because I've had sex with men for less than that. And now you want somebody to value you above what value you placed on yourself. And it don't work like that. Sorry, ladies. At some point, y'all gonna have to stop having these intellectual, philosophical pontifications about bullshit. These long-winded conversations that y'all have. I see all of these conversations online where women go back and forth about body count mattering and shit like that. Like, when are y'all just gonna accept that men have two different standards? The women we want to have sex with and the women we want to marry. And ladies, you don't get to move between those two different realms. Once you put yourself in the whole realm, everybody who knows you put yourself there, you there. That's where you at. You may think you did a sage cleaning on your vulva or whatever the hell y'all think y'all doing. You may think you did a yoni ritual to reconnect your hymen to the spiritual cosmos and shit, or whatever the hell y'all talking about these days. But men don't think that way. So only other women are going to agree with you. And unless you plan on marrying a woman, then you need to care about what the hell we think. And if you don't care about what we think, then you get what you get. And it's not the patriarchy. It's that men have preferences, just like women have preferences. We know we need to be tall. We know we need to make money. We know we need to be interesting. We know we need to be able to create a vibe. We know we need to be able to do this shit. That's why men pay for dating coaches. Men get with their homeboys. When I was a kid, we go to the roller rink. I'm aging myself. I'm dating myself by saying this. But we go to the roller rink and we see if we can talk to girls and get their numbers. It was practice. The point was to get rejected. The point was to get rejected. We had to practice to figure out what you wanted and how to talk to you. Y'all don't have to do that because the fish jump in the boat. All you have to do is understand the nature of a goddamn fish, and y'all couldn't care less. And then when you come up starving, you act like that. The problem is with the lake. The problem is the patriarchy. It's not. You the problem. You the problem. And you're going to keep getting the outcomes you get unless you move different. And a lot of you ladies, I'm sorry to tell you this, you've made choices and decisions that have excluded you for the rest of your life from the shit that you want. Just like a man who gets a felony and he knows he can't be an executive nowhere unless he starts his own business. And now he's the executive of a lawn care company he started. Shit. There are certain choices you make in life where you don't get a get back. You don't get to take it back. And some of you ladies have done things, sorry to tell you, that have completely excluded you from certain outcomes you may want. Too bad, so sad. I'm sorry to tell you that. The same thing is true for men. There are some men who have fucked their lives up to the extent that there ain't no coming back to the things that they want the most. So some of y'all can't be saved. And I'm sorry to tell you that. And that may sound fucked up, but it's true. Because life is not a fairy tale. This shit don't all have to balance out in the end. Sometimes you get, sometimes it just don't work out. Right? So I get sick and tired of this zero accountability mindset and this completely delusional mindset about how reality is supposed to approach your decisions with some type of understanding that people owe you understanding your background and why you made the choices you made, and that they should forgive you for the stupid shit you did to yourself or the choices that you made, or they should sit and work through your trauma with you because they need to understand why you've been through all of this. You don't know why she did it. You don't know why she fucked 50 men. So you need to understand that. No, I don't. You don't need to understand why somebody make $35,000 a year and you don't want them. You don't want them.
Right.
You don't need to understand why somebody make 50 grand a year. You don't want them. You don't need to understand why somebody 5'6". You don't want them. You don't need to understand why somebody's grill is fucked up. When you talk to them, you don't want them. You don't need to understand why a man's shoes don't match his belt. You just don't want them. And men that want wives, when it's time for these men to settle down, they don't want hoes. And they don't need to understand why you was hoeing. They don't owe you that understanding any more than you understand a broke motherfucker some understanding. They don't owe you that. Nobody owes you shit. Nobody owes anybody shit. But y'all are so drunk off the fairy dust of your own self because y'all calling yourselves queens and goddesses and this and that you think that somebody is supposed to kiss your ass. Just because you got a whole bunch of dudes chasing after you that want to bury some dick in you. And that's not the way the world works. The man who wants you for a wife wants more from you than sex. So the shit you get away with a punk or with a simp that's willing to do anything for some punani, you're not going to get away with it with me. I'm not playing that shit with you. If you give me an attitude, you out. You yell at me, you out. You disrespect me, you out. I catch you lying one time, you out. You out. I find out you've been hoeing, you out. I don't have to deal with any of that. Men that have their shit together don't have to deal with any of that. And guess what? It's not just rich men. Men who make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year, who are stable, consistently stable and secure, who have character and integrity, they don't have to accept your behavior either. Nobody does. Nobody owes you shit. So go ahead, ladies. Have a great time. Fuck everybody you want to fuck. Drink everything you want to drink. Get as high as you want to. It's your body. It's your choice. But responsibility and freedom, responsibility and power are inextricably tied together like shit and stank. So you don't get the freedom, you don't get the power without the consequences and the responsibility. You can't pull them apart. Y'all all believe in manifest mindset and karma and crystals and all of that shit, right? Y'all believe in the universal laws of attraction? Okay, that's your karma. You don't get to get out of your karma from your choices, your actions, your behavior. You can't sage that out of your vulva.